Someone was late. I don't know who it was.
Okay, I'm gonna start recording.
Testing, testing.
Okay, start that. And let's see, my little screen. Let me hit that. Get my little background. As the committee grows, you know, we'll have. We'll have more people in place, but I'm grateful for everyone. Mr. Ice, can I borrow your microphone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. And so, Mr. Aaron, how are we looking? Can you tell me when we're live? Okay.
Hey, we live.
So that I'm in camera, should I get down?
That's good.
I'm gonna hit 50 this year, so somebody might have to help me get up. Okay, awesome. I got to catch my breath just for. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, thanks. Getting ready to get started. Hello, everyone out there in internet land. We're at the Boys and Girls Club Sierra Vista Clubhouse in Canyon Country, California. You guys are great. Okay. All right, awesome. Good evening, everyone. My name is Billy Johnson Jr. I'm the organizer of this event that's called Jokes. The name of this event is called #NoStigmasAllowed and is made possible by a grant from California Mental Health Services Authority and the Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health, as well as the Boys and Girls Club. I'm very honored to say this is my second year of being here at the Boys and Girls Club to do this workshops. Was anyone here last year? Does anyone remember we did this last year? We got a couple people. Okay, awesome. We tried to step it up a little bit. Now we have T-shirts. I don't have enough for everyone, but we'll do some giveaways. Okay, we're gonna have pizza and cookies and stuff. If you guys like Domino's pizza, that's coming up. I know you just had snack time. Okay, so but this thing is called No Stigmas Allowed. As we were talking about earlier, stigmas is when someone puts a label on you and makes it bad, and I don't like that, especially when it comes to mental health. Does anyone know what mental health is? Okay, red shirt, sir.
Mental health is like basically like if you have a disorder or something, like if you're handicapped or something.
Yes.
Yep. And that's what a disorder is.
Okay, and that's I definitely, for sure, that's one area of mental health, and I'm glad you said that. I think that may be the first thing people think of. They think of a severe disorder, but I think mental health is actually, and I'm not the expert here, that's why I have Ms. Tann, and I'm gonna, move away in a second. But it actually could be sometimes if you're sad for a long time, if you're depressed, or maybe your parents are getting a divorce, or something, your friend moved away, your dog died, so many different things can have an impact on how you feel. And sometimes you might be feeling a certain way, and then people want to make you feel like you're a bad person or that you have a handicap. Because of that, when in reality, we all, at some point or another, deal with these kind of issues. So that's what this whole thing is about, is making people aware that it's normal to sometimes feel this way, but we just need to be able to find the support. So I had this logo created. I'm very happy to have my little t-shirts. It's a person with a tear, but there's a person giving them a hug, And so that's what I want this whole thing to represent, is like we should love, support, and hug people who are, maybe not feeling 100%, And if we all did that, it would make a big difference. Yes? Well, I'm so glad you're here today, and we have Ms. Tann, and I would like for you to be able to talk to her a little more after. And I'm actually I'm a music journalist, so for 20-something years, I've interviewed Beyonce and Kanye West and Rihanna and Chris Brown and all this kind of stuff. It's been a very fun job, but like having this moment with you right here, like I'm about to cry, you know what I mean? Because that's the purpose of this thing, and I want to tell you, you are beautiful. And the fact that in front of all these people, you're so comfortable to tell your story and about a difficult time, and you're going to get through this and just keep the right attitude. And and everyone, like I said, it's about hugs. Like let's love each other. So we're going to go move so we can get started, but we will take questions and everything because I know we have a time limit. But I would like to introduce my special guest today, and then I'm going to show you a funny video of this guy over here, and then we'll start. So my first special guest to my right, she was with us here last year. I'm so grateful for that. Tann is a speaker who has conducted countless seminars regarding personal development, self-image, and assertiveness. She is a producer, director, classically trained actress, licensed marriage and family therapist, and founder of the Power and Purpose Productions, Inc., where the mission is to raise mental health awareness through dramatic and fine arts. PPP, Inc. is committed to partnering with corporations, organizations, and schools and other entities to educate through theatrical productions, workshops, and other arts-related modalities. Tann is a licensed marriage and family therapist, working in private practice at Healing Arts in Valencia, where she assists clients in reaching goals and managing challenges. She is also the author of The Cinderella Syndrome, When the Glass Slipper No Longer Fits, which was awarded the Reviewer's Choice Award for Best Nonfiction Self-Help and introduced the world to hip help. I love that, a term that she coined. Let's see. Tann's Vision Board Workshop helps individuals and groups identify and clarify goals. This fun and relaxing workshop experience utilizes creative expression and wellness modalities to encourage the participants to spend time getting to know themselves better. Her motto is, artistic observation evokes possibility, power, and purpose. Let's give Ms. Tann. I got braces 6 months ago, and if I don't stutter enough, well, it's a little tough. Also, this guy, Mr. Isaac Ryan Brown. This guy, yeah. Originally from Detroit.
Detroit,
You just don't say Detroit, right? You got to put some emphasis on that.
Exactly.
You don't say Detroit. Isaac Ryan Brown got his big break at the age of 6 when he auditioned for America's Got Talent. If you guys haven't seen that, you have to look it up. It is the best. And Howie Mandel labeled him a superstar, right? Since then, Isaac has traveled between home and Los Angeles, consistently working in film, television, commercials, and voiceovers. Isaac has reoccurred on shows such as Blackish, How to Get Away with Murder. His voiceover credits includes Bubble Guppies and Miles from Tomorrowland. Isaac's film credits include Clarence Joseph in the feature film Believe and Shantae in Halle Berry's film Kings. Halle Berry, that's just all I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna keep it moving. Currently, you can see Isaac starring as a series regular on Disney Channel's hit series Raven's Home, alongside Raven Simone and as her son Booker. Isaac is represented by Abrams Artist Agency and Reload Management. Let's give Isaac a round of applause. And I know you guys already know Isaac, but I just want to show a little clip, and then we will get.
On that new ride, the wind tickler.
The wind tickler. That sounds fun. This is not fun. This is not fun at all.
whole park from here. Isn't this great?
Yeah. How high are we? Is that a bird? Are we bird high? Bird high is too high.
Okay, all I have to do is pull this cord and we drop 150 feet at 60 miles per hour. Count me down, Buck. 100, 99, 98. Let's start at 5. 5, 4, 3, 2.
I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I can't do it.
Mom, you okay?
Well, a plane just flew by and I caught a piece of the in-flight movie. So no, I'm not okay.
Mom, what are you doing?
I'm trying to get to the pole.
Mom. Mom.
I'm about to catch the scroll right quick. Oh,
Mom.
No. I don't know why I let y'all talk me into this. If we die, you're both grounded.
Mom, you have to let go.
You don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do. I'm the mama.
All right, well, I want to, you want to see the rest of it? Okay, finish. You want to see the drop, huh?
We're stuck up here.
No, we're not stuck. We just have to wait for the peer rescue helicopter. There's always a peer rescue helicopter, isn't there?
Mom, if you didn't want to do this, then why are we up here?
Because I didn't want you to be sad that your dad left.
But we are sad. Dad's gone. Things are never going to be the same.
You're right. And I shouldn't have tried to keep you from being sad. I was wrong. Listen, it's okay to be sad. He's gone.
I miss him. Me too.
Me too. But hey, you guys are gonna text him and you're gonna visit. We're gonna find a way to make this work, right? Right? Okay. I'm ready to pull that cord.
Here we go. That's weird. I pulled the cord and nothing even... Nothing. Let's do it again. No, Mom?
Don't touch me! Don't touch me! Get away from me! Get me out of here! Get me out of here!
Mom's trying to. I lost my shoe. Leave it. He's gaining on us.
Okay, let's give Isaac and everybody. Okay, thank you. So with that said, I'm going to turn it over to these two to take over.
Oh, Isaac. Okay. I should have started that. So you guys see how amazing Isaac is on TV, right? But he has also a lot to say about some of the things that you touched on in the back. Thank you for sharing so much. We appreciate that. And one of the things that I think set us up perfectly was she said something about it's okay to be sad. And she apologized to them for having them act like they weren't sad. So, like, what are your thoughts on that clip? What's the backstory on that clip right there?
So, basically, in that clip, Devon moves away. Our dad, played by Jonathan McDaniel, we call him Baby J. He moves away to Texas to pursue his career. And Raven decides to take over our weekend for Dad Weekend, and obviously it goes terribly, terribly bad. It was really, really bad, horribly wrong. But, and when she says, try to keep you from being sad, I really like that because when I first came out here to California, my mom first took us out of here. I was away from my dad, and I was away from my grandma. I was away from everyone I had grew up around for this dream, this aspiration that seemed so far away, you know? And my mom never tried to keep me from being sad. You know, she was always like, Isaac, if you want it, you always gotta just chase it. You gotta take what you want, and you can't be sad about it. You gotta suck it up and be happy. So I think what's important in that clip is that you always have to find the good in the bad. You know?
Yeah.
I saw you.
All right. Yeah. So finding the good in what feels like it's bad, I think that's really important. And I'm sure, I don't know if anybody in here has had someone move away or a relative move away or something sad happen. And, so Isaac, can you talk a little bit about how you found the good? Like when you came out here and you were adjusting to everything, what were some of the things you did to find the good in everything?
Well, some of the good I found it in my family, of course. I was able to call my dad, I was able to call my sister, shout out to my mom over there for all the love and support. But yeah, I found the love through my family support, and it feels good when your family kind of gathers. Has anyone ever played a sport? And you, oh wow, oh yeah, okay. And your family comes to a game, and how good that feels to hear them cheering on the sidelines for you. That support is kind of what pushed me through. What helps us. I was never really sad. It was always fun. I always had work. At one point, I was working on bubble guppies, like the funnest job ever. And I was always on set. I stayed busy, but yeah, my family kind of helped me go through.
Yeah, family is really important, and if you have family, you can trust them and talk to them about the things you're going through at school, or if things are being said that make you feel unhappy, you can talk to your mom, you can talk to your dad, maybe a grandparent, an aunt or an uncle or something like that. Is really important. So, Isaac, will you talk a little bit about your experience in working on set with Raven's Home, and any challenges that you've had and how you've maybe worked through those?
Okay, so on set we have the cameraman. He shall remain unnamed. But let's just say he's been on a lot of different Disney shows. He was on Austin Alley. He was on That's So Raven. He was on what's that other show you always tells me about? With not Kicking It, but he's been on a lot of stuff. And every person that has worked with this man, every person, every older person, or every Disney Channel person that I've met that worked with Vance has told me to stay away. But told me to stay away from him, and I fell into the trap. And we are playing between every take. And so this past couple weeks, they called me up to the office, like, Isaac, you're playing a little too much, and it comes off as flamboyant or whatever. So that happened. Okay, I was like, cool. The second time was a little more serious. It was more like, okay, and you go to set every day, and you think it's a job, and you feel like, not a job, but you feel like everyone is family there, and you feel you can do whatever you want, and no one's gonna say anything, they're looking out for you, But it's like you still have to remain professional in some sorts. You still have to keep that level of professionalism there while you work, while still having fun. And so that was real hard for me, having a bunch of different people watch me, tell me I couldn't go off to the sidelines and play. You can't go off set. You have to stay there. And I feel like that does put some stress on you. And that level of pressure that's always on you to do your lines, have it memorized, yada, 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 that can prove to be very stressful. But, you find your balance just like anything. And I want to say this, as actors, we sometimes exaggerate all our problems to the 10th degree. We're always like, oh, I'm an actor, I feel so bad, oh my God. And it's, but kids that go to school, they feel that too, Whether it's not fitting into school like you said, or whether it's getting in trouble going to the principal's office, or whether it's being embarrassed in front of everybody. We get embarrassed on set when someone tells you not to do something in front of a crew of 250 people. So it's always finding that happy medium, balancing everything out.
Yeah. How many of you guys thought, before Isaac just said that working on TV was always fun? You thought it was always fun? So are some of you kind of shocked to hear that sometimes even Isaac, like someone on TV and successful, has stress? Is that shocking? You have a question? You have a question? Oh no, you just saying, okay. Yes, like it's even people who are really successful and have a great career on Disney even feel stressed sometimes. So what are some of the things like outside of just pushing through? What are some things they can do to get through stress?
Oh man, some things to get through stress. I think yeah, I like to read a lot, but I feel like a lot of times like, and sometimes I do this with my mom. Like sometimes I'll just let like how I feel build up for so long that when we have a 3-hour discussion, we just let everything loose. And I personally feel like you shouldn't let anything build up for that long. Like I don't think that's very, very good. And so me and my mom have developed this sort of relationship, or even me and my sister right there, built this relationship where we can talk about things as soon as they happen. And so all those feelings that you feel, you can release them immediately. I think you need to find someone you trust and, confide in them a little bit and tell them about, I have 3 people that I can just call and talk to and tell about my problems. I got my sister, my mom, and Raven, surprisingly. I can go and Raven, and I can tell her, and Raven really helped me through a lot of dealing with on set and what to do as far as professionalism and stuff like that. So as long as you have people to talk to, people in your corner that you know are gonna really look out for you and talk you through it, I think.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's so important, guys. Like if you, I'll get to your question in 1 second. If you hold it in, if you keep it a secret, guess what? Even if your mom and dad know you so well, they are not mind readers. You have to tell them what things you're going through so they have the opportunity to help you, right? So it's really, really important, like Isaac says, to talk to your mom, your sister, or someone you look up to that you work with. Yes, you have a question?
So I do a lot of plays and shows, and so sometimes when we're on set, like we're trying to do something that's kind of important, people would goof around, and that kind of gets me stressed about it. And so
I would be that guy that would get you stressed. I'm telling you that right now.
so when I got that stress, sometimes I would keep it a secret from my parents, so I wouldn't tell them. So after you just said that, now I know to like tell my parents about this.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, okay. I have 2 things to say to that. The first thing is, when we first started Raven's Home, as a cast, we were always like butting heads, and like I don't know if anyone else in my cast has like said this. We used to beef all the time. We started off in one classroom, me, Navi, Jason, and Scott. Bam. I was always singing, I was always humming, always goofing around, and so we split up into 2 classrooms. Me and Jason in one classroom, Navi and Scott in one classroom. Goofing off. It got to the point where I went into a completely separate room. Jason stayed in one room, and Navi and Sky were in one room by themselves. And it took for all of us to sit down and tell each other how we felt about something to really come to the conclusion that we needed to respect how we felt about each other. And in the process, we got Navi to kind of loosen up, we got me to kind of settle down, and we still work on this a little bit. But we got everybody to kind of comply to our needs. And my second thing to say to this is, when I remember when we first got on the show, people were first telling me about peer pressure and anxiety and all this stuff. I honestly did not think it was real. I was like, yeah, something people go through, but it's like, it's not that serious, Like, it's not nothing that we need to have no whole meeting about. We're kids, what do we really feel stressed about or anything? Being on set or living life in general will teach you about the pressures and stresses of life. I got finals coming up. I just took my English final today. It's not the funnest thing in the world. You feel that pressure. It's not good. You gotta release it. So yeah, definitely sit down and talk about how you feel, even when it's kind of awkward, even if it feels confrontational.
Yeah, good. Yes, you have a question in the back?
Well, it's kind of like a comment. Like, since I have a really big family, I'm I'm the oldest one in the family.
Yeah.
You know, I really feel where you're coming from, and like, and definitely talk to your mom about some of the like whatever pressure you're feeling. But then I feel like there's a different aspect as far as like when it comes to being a role model to your younger sisters and brothers, or even your cousins. I feel like that's a big part of growing up. Like when I go back home for Christmas, we always go to my grandma's house. We go and we stay there and we chill and we have a really good time over there. And so when I was growing up, it was always my older sisters and my older cousins. They took on that responsibility of cleaning up, washing the dishes, making sure we do it, right? As time passes, we have to take over that responsibility in growing up. And although it is a lot of pressure, we got to keep that. And I realized this last Christmas that I needed to really grow up and take over, and that I wasn't a little kid anymore, because now my older cousins are like 27, 28. Now they have kids of their own that I have to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. So while it is a lot of pressure, I feel like that is a big part of growing up, being a role model. And if you can't be that role model that everybody needs you to be, I feel like you have to tell everybody, like, look, I'm really trying my best, but if I can't do it, then it's not something I can control. You know, it's not like I can be perfect at everything. But as far as like helping your little cousin or making sure they get dressed or bathed or stuff like that, or even just setting a good example as far as what to say or what you watch or what you leave on your phone. You know, I feel like that's a big responsibility that, while you probably didn't ask for it, does fall on us as older siblings. You know what I mean? Or older, call them older cousins.
Yeah, as an older, you know, you do end up kind of being the role model. But one thing I want to tell you guys is mistakes are normal. You're supposed to make mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, guess what? You don't learn anything. And so a lot of times the pressure that we end up feeling is because we're afraid to make a mistake.
And that's why people that stay perfect or try to stay perfect their entire lives feel that shock when they finally mess up. Well, that's why the shock is so... Did you guys see the movie Kim Possible?
Yeah.
I was in that movie, and that's such a braggadocious thing to say. Did y'all see that movie? Cool, I was in that movie. But in that movie, she spent her entire life getting the best grades, dressing the best, going on missions, yada, yada, yada. That when she finally made a mistake, she just fell into this dark rabbit hole of not knowing where to go or where to turn, because she had no idea. Like, she was just like, I've never made a mistake before. And so I definitely feel like making mistakes are normal and you should make them. My mom used to let us make mistakes as little kids. Like, she used to let us like trip over, like not really hurt ourselves, but she used to let us make a mistake so that we could learn from it and learn not to make those mistakes again. I remember I had this friend in preschool. We were real close friends. My cousin came. Yeah, I see you laughing, Mom, because you know the story. My cousin came, and I was out with my cousin. We thought we was hard, man. We had to be 4 or 5 at the time. It was ridiculous. We was rolling through the daycare center, and my cousin took a toy from this little kid that I know. This little kid comes to me, tells me to tell my cousin to give it back because, you know, he had the toy first, and naturally I side with my cousin. And so we get into a fight. Now, mind you, we're 4 and 5. Not much that we can do as far as a fight. But man, this kid could fight. Like, I don't know what his parents were teaching him at home, but he was a boxer. Like, this kid had weapons for hands. I don't know what happened. It was a blur, and my cousin ran off. Like, what you doing? So, long story short, you need to hear both sides of the story, but you can't learn unless you make mistakes. You never know how to get back up unless you fall down. I feel like.
Yeah, you guys get that? Yeah. Okay. So
I know I'm
mistakes are
long-winded. I got lungs.
Love it. Okay, so we have some more hands going up, but really quickly, let me just jump in here and say something. Earlier, can you tell me your name in the back? Droila? Okay. Droila talked about what mental health was and talked about mental wellness. And everybody, all of us, no matter how old we are, boy, girl, whatever, we all need to take care of ourselves, right? Does everybody go see the doctor when they get sick? You go see your doctor, right? So if you go see the doctor when you get a little tickle, right, in your throat, you do the same thing sometimes when you don't feel well, like you feel sad, like they talked about in the clip, right? The kids were sad because their dad left. Sometimes you got to talk to somebody, as we talked about earlier, and that keeps you mentally healthy, right? Keeps you mentally well. And so what we're doing here today is giving you some really good information. Isaac is giving you guys some really good information on how to stay mentally well, right? So anybody have questions? Like I saw your hand. Yes, sir. Okay, he forgot. So if you remember, let us know, okay? Yes, you have a question?
I don't really have a question, but I'm from far away, and I'm from Fresno, and I grew up with 3 sisters and I'm supposedly 4 brothers, and we all got separated, so it was very sad, and right now I have 3 sisters, and it is hard and frustrating.
Hard and frustrating.
I grew up in a house of only girls too. I have 4 sisters, my mom, my 2 cousins, and my auntie was living with us at the time. And so not to mention when they had friends over, it gets rough. And I don't know, I was the worst brother in the world. I was terrible. I was running through the house. I wasn't giving no privacy, nothing. You see her over there, hot mess. But at one point, I used to run through the house naked to scare their friends off. I was the worst. It was crazy. But I feel like as you grow up, you form a bond with your sisters and the people that you grew up with, closer than anything you could ever do with anything closer than your friends at school or even work associates to me sometimes. And I came out to California when I was young, but even now I still try to call my sisters whenever I get the chance. Or my sister now, I'm about to be a uncle, 13. My sister is 29, having a baby, little baby Keith, and so now I want to be as in my little nephew's life as possible, So stick through it and stay with your sisters. They'll have a lot of. Are you older?
I'm 10.
No, older than that.
Yeah.
You're older than him? Oh, yeah.
Only one. Don't you remember?
Older than one, and then the other, yes. So learn from the other 2 and boss the other one around. Cool.
Cool. Thanks. Okay. Yes, in the blue shirt?
My brother, he's actually right there. He's also the only guy in her family. He has 3 sisters, including me.
Does he run through the house naked?
Oh, no.
I'm kidding.
We have 3 sisters, including me. Our older sister Ashley, who's 14, me being 11, even though I'm so much older than him. And we recently had a new baby, and guess what? She was a girl.
Wow.
So he's a middle child with me now, but still.
Man, you ain't getting no luck.
Okay, did you remember your question?
Yeah.
Yes.
But also, all my cousins are girls.
Oh, wow.
Oh man, that's
You're
That's-
special.
something.
Yeah, all my
That's
cousins are girls. I can be all.
So you guys, how are we doing on time, Billy?
I'm gonna check.
Okay.
Probably, yeah. I think it's been about 45 minutes, so.
Okay, so does anyone have any questions about this idea of no stigmas allowed? Anybody have any questions about that in particular for Isaac? Yes?
What is it like? Have you ever had?
you might as well be up here with us, girl.
Have you ever had to get really
boys.
Yeah. I had to throw in a basketball pool there, so it was like really, really hard at me when I wasn't even looking. So I was facing this way towards the wall because I was playing soccer, and they were behind me, so I didn't even know that they were behind me. And so after that, I was really scared because I was always checking my back, like I couldn't play soccer anymore because I was afraid that they were gonna try and do that again, you know. And they also hit me with the soccer ball too when I wasn't paying attention. And I was paralyzed for like almost an hour because it had hit the middle of my spine. And I like at first I fell and I couldn't move, but I couldn't get up. And so I was feeling myself, you know. And when I touched my back, it felt like I had just stabbed myself, and I was wondering what was going on. Like I was like, what's wrong, you know? And at first my adrenaline hadn't kicked in yet, so I wasn't really feeling anything, you know. My adrenaline did kick in, so I didn't feel anything. I was like, well, it's fine. And when I tried to like do a push-up to get up, you know, like I couldn't, like I could feel my body, but I couldn't move it.
Oh my God, are you okay now?
Yeah.
Okay, so, but wait, I want to make sure we get back to your question. I want to talk to you after too. I want to make sure we don't miss out on your question. I'm so sorry that happened to you, by the way, and I'm glad you're okay now. I think your original question was, we were asking Isaac, had he ever had challenges getting adjusted to a new environment? And I would really love it if he can answer that question for you, so that we can find out how he got adjusted to a new environment.
Right, like have you ever gotten used to something and it had to change?
Have you?
Change again?
Yeah. And I'm so sorry all of that happened to you, yes. And I don't know what to do. Like, what you can do is go to a teacher, but like, there's always gonna be some way people can corner you or something like that. And so I feel like it's just something I have to pray and think about. But as far as adjusting to a new environment, I think moving around from set to set, right? Like, I remember I filmed this movie called Believe for 2 months. And the people that I met there were so nice, it was so life-changing. And we really became a family there on that set, me being the only kid. Everybody really kind of just took me under their wing and kind of helped me grow up and become a better actor and a better person overall. But a movie lasts for 2 months, so you get to know these people, you build relationships with these people, and after 2 months, you go back to wherever you, like, Believe was in Virginia, so 1,000 miles away or something like that, and you go back to where you're from and it's back to auditioning again, like nothing ever happened. Like, nobody's, like, I mean, unless it's like super groundbreaking, you can do a film and like nobody remembers you from that film, you know? And so you're back in the auditioning game and you have to be as hungry as ever. And there are kids that never stopped auditioning and didn't get as comfortable as you. So constantly being pulled out of environments and placed into new ones, getting to know people and then tearing those relationships, I think the best thing that you can do, and that's why Instagram and Snapchat and stuff, it has its cons and pros, you know? Like as far as keeping in contact with people that you really love, and then I'm not saying be on Instagram all day and night texting or DMing people that you love, but
So it doesn't really apply to me.
but I mean as far as keeping those, do you have a computer or anything?
Yeah.
Oh, well, as far as keeping relationships, I feel like is a big part of adjusting to new environments.
Yeah, and so we have time, thank you, Isaac. We have time for one last question. You guys, we will have time at the end to maybe ask a few questions after. We have time for one more question. Yes, way in the back.
When I went to preschool once, when I was like 4, they just make this new console in 3DS, so I wanted to bring it to school to make me look popular. And my dad said, yeah, so I was really popular, and he stole it from me. And he's the kid that always bullied me. He stole it from me because he's bigger than me. And I got a kid that was even bigger than me, like one bigger
I just learned about that on church on Sunday. I just learned about that. I'm playing. But that's awesome having friends like that for real. Back in my old school, I had a group of kids. It was me, Eugene, and Antonio. And I could sing, and I was the handsome one. Eugene was the smart one, and Antonio was the cool one. And we never got bullied. We were always kind of the cool, smart kids. But I know if we ever needed each other, we were always there for each other. So it's always awesome to have friends like that to watch your back.
Yeah, everybody, thank you so much. Everybody, put your hands together for Isaac.
Hold on, wait. Now, just one thing before we leave, guys. I just gotta let y'all know. Do y'all know what Disney Channel Voices is?
Yeah.
Have y'all heard my song going in?
Yeah.
I have? No? Okay, so this Friday I have my new song, Best Friends drop. No, BFF. I'm sorry, I can't use that as a word. But BFF is dropping. I want all of y'all to please go watch it and like it if y'all got a BFF. I know, tag me, post on Instagram or whatever. My Instagram is Isaac Ryan Brown. Make sure I go look that up.
Yay.
So,
Giving myself the plug.
So it looks like we're going to get a chance to hear Isaac's song.
Ooh.
So everybody stay tuned for that.
You said.
While we're waiting, you guys.
Can you ask them, can you ask these questions? And it's just like kind of a yes or no kind of thing.
Okay, so, all right. So you want just like a show of hands?
Mhm.
Okay. So you guys, please show me your hands for, are you guys more aware of mental health services and resources in your community after today's talk? Raise your hand if it's yes. All right. Next question. Do you have a better understanding of health and well-being after today? Raise your hand. Yeah, good. Are you more likely to tell a family member, friend, coworker, or neighbor about mental health services and resources after today? Resources, that's a big word. Okay, good. And last question. Are you more likely as a result of this information and or engagement to seek out mental health services and resources? Raise your hand. Good. Thank you guys. Thank you all for being here. Give yourself a hand.
That is appreciation of who you are and where you have come from. Many of us are from Africa.
Yeah, I'm going in, but all of my kid. Watch how you step, cause you in the lion's den. Here I go again. Sharking deep water with fins. No, I don't play, catching the wave. You know I stay strong, no, I don't cave. Yeah, after best friends, you thought I was done, didn't ya?
I was supposed to drop BFF before this, which is why I say anyway.
I'm being cocky, I'm just not like the rest. I keep my cool, even when I'm about to lose it. Don't make me catch it for some people. They don't want me to spin, cause they know every song that I take is a 2 me and wreck the soul. Time to hit. I guess I'm just so slick. Yeah. I'm going in. Yep. I'm going in. I'm going in. Hey, I'm going in. You on again. I need your attention. Cause it's obsession. Making good music is kind of my biggest obsession. Been in this booth, kinda no silly me. Ain't in these streets, but you know I'm rapping 313. I know they tired of me, but it's okay though, cause I got my day ones on me. Yeah. Hit out your head, that just might be the case. You want someone else, but can't nobody take my place. If they do, they might have to have the same name and face. I'm on the right course, hit the yellow with the Star Wars, with the right force, hit with the lightsaber. To me, nobody caters. Got force choke my dreams like I'm Darth Vader. There's something big. My words will have you bumping and jumping, the floor shaking. Yeah, to perfection, I must strive. Gotta keep the dream alive. If the goal is 100,
go home and download that immediately.
I know.
Yes.
Okay,
BFF's
so,
coming out this Monday. Oh, Raven's Home is also dropping this Friday.
Monday?
The 17th? Oh man, the 17th. Oh man, so season 3 is dropping next Monday. So make sure y'all watch it tonight. Not tonight, but next week. Tonight.
okay, can I borrow you? Okay. Okay, again, thank you all. Thank you all for coming and being such a great audience. We have pizza for you. We have T-shirts and cookies, and you can take pictures. We have pictures of Isaac, and so they'll be around. So anyhow, thank you guys, everyone watching at K-Heads. Thank you. Isaac. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, guys.